Morning. We are working our way now toward a church covenant, very first church covenant. And the reason we're doing this, well, there's a number of reasons. One of the reasons we're doing this is because once in a while it's just worth stopping and going, so why are we here? What are we doing here? And maybe you want to answer that question for yourself. And maybe when you do that, you're having trouble, and then you should come talk to me because I can help you. But there's something valuable about doing it together. Asking the question not for me as an individual, but for us as a group. And that way, right, when new people come and they go, so what are you guys about? We can go, here's what we're about. This is what we're trying to be. This is what we're trying to do. This is who we are. So that's what we're doing. And the plan is on October the 15th, we're going to have this covenant on a big piece of paper of some sort. And we're all going to have an opportunity to come up and sign our name to make a one-year commitment so that it's not like a lifetime, so you're not sure how long you're going to be around. Right? Well, can you commit to being with us and being together in this project for 1 year? Part of what's happening in the background is that church membership isn't the thing it used to be. Churches used to figure out who they are, who sort of belonged and who didn't, based on this thing called membership. But that's become less meaningful over the years. And people my age tend to blame everything on the millennials. But in this case, that's just not true. Because this church was not formed by the millennials, and yet membership is not what it used to be even here. Does somebody here know how many actual members there are at Morgantown Church of the Brethren? Besides Will? Doesn't count.
200?
Pardon me?
200?
You're very close. 199.
Wow.
Yeah.
So look around you. 199 members.
Really?
Yeah. Now, we have this thing, so some time ago, I have no idea when, we made a distinction between active members and inactive members. So can someone tell me when that was, roughly? When did you do that? Any keepers of the church history who remember that? Okay, so a long time ago when the earth was green, right? But even on our active member rolls, there are 58 people on our active member rolls, and roughly half of them have been in this building in the last year.
There you go.
Right? So even with, even for us, this membership thing just doesn't quite work. And we could spend a lot of time in committees trying to refine this list and find who's in and who's out. But seriously, the reality is that in this church, in means that you show up. When there's something to do, you show up. When it's time for worship, you come. Right? Some people sing in the choir, and some people do this, and some people do that, but right, belonging means showing up on a sort of a quasi-regular basis. And that's, in a significant way, who we are, and who most churches are at this point. And so, right, on October the 15th, if you want to come and sign your name to the covenant, then you are in, so far as in means anything anymore. And if you can't make it on the 15th, you can only come the next week or the next month, and you still want to put your name on the covenant, we'll probably let you do that too. Right? And it means that for the next year. We borrowed the covenant mostly from Austin Mennonite Church, because I looked around for covenants, and that one seemed to work for a number of people that I showed it to. Andrew did a lot of good editing on it, so you might want to take some time to thank Andrew afterwards, and he's going to say, But work well done. So we have this covenant, and it's about who we are. And who we are, of course, is ultimately just us. But who we are comes out of who we were. And so all of this stuff up here, besides, well, even the towels, right, and the backpacks, is part of who we are and who we were. And one of the things that's interesting about this particular building, of course, right, really, really important, always to remember the church is not the building. Right? The church owns the building, but the church is us. the building is extraneous to this whole process, right? The building burns down, we're still a church. But anyway, one of the things about this building is it's got lots and lots of closets. And most of them are full, right? Or at least full-ish. And almost none of them are neat. And we could spend a lot of time going through closets and throwing out stuff, but we got real things to do. So I'm not fussy about these closets, but I thought, you know, if you start pulling stuff out of closets, you figure out pretty quickly who you were. Right? So, right, we're a church that does buckwheat suppers. And it used to do them big time, so we had signs. Right? And it used to be a fundraiser.
Nominally.
Nominally? Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. All these things we're learning.
Well,
right? So
the number of hours that were put in,
right,
you know,
yeah,
we made $400.
Right, so at 25 cents an hour, it made really good money. Okay, right? What else about who we were, right? There's lots and lots of streamers in the closets. Apparently we used to do a lot of celebrations. Pentecost. Ah, okay, right? But that's good, right? It's a sign that, right, we're not just a sort of a boring kind of, we're all gonna look the same, and right, we're gonna celebrate in this church. I like that, right? There are two Bibles. Both sitting up there most of the time. So they're not on display. And I like that because we are a church that is founded very much on the Bible. But the Bible isn't an icon. Right? The physical Bible doesn't matter. If somebody burns a Bible, I don't care. Right? A burned Bible is no more meaningful than one sitting in your shelf collecting dust. Right? The point is we read it and we try to do some of that as best we can. The point is not, well, we got a big one at the front. So we don't think of the Bible as an icon. Right? We're a very practical church. Right? We got crutches if someone gets injured. We have a wheelchair if you get injured. You can come and borrow the church wheelchair. I've never been in a church that has a church wheelchair before. Very, very, very practical group of people. We're getting it, right? So more buckwheat supper stuff. We are a very frugal bunch of people. This box is all full of empty plastic containers. This box is only for small empty plastic containers. There are other boxes and cupboards full of medium-sized and large empty plastic containers. So if ever in your life you need an empty plastic container, boy, do we have something for you. Right? But that's part of who we are, right? It says right in there, right? Simple living. I don't like that phrase, because simple living is very, very complicated. Right? So, but I haven't found a better one, so we'll stick with simple living, right? So we live complicated lives, but we try not to live ostentatiously complicated lives. Maybe that would be easy, right? So, more signs of celebration. There's lots of celebration stuff, right? We have a library full of books that connect us to our history, because most of them are old and out of date. Some of them are historical, right? But right, we're a very educated congregation on average, right? This isn't a requirement, right? If all you can manage on the covenant is a thumbprint rather than a signature, that's fine. Thumbprint works. Found a bunch of these Noah's Arks, right? Which again connect, and these are banks. So it says Church of the Brethren Heifer Project, right? And then if you don't know what the Heifer Project is, someone will be able to answer that question. Many people here will be able to answer that question for you, right? And so it's a way of teaching children how to give. We got a bunch of these downstairs too. Someone wants to, and more giving stuff. And part of the crop is we have a crop table. So when you came in, you probably noticed this table with crop on it, in terms of tomatoes and apples and beans and right, and so part of it is also sharing. We're a singing church. All sorts of music up there with the choir and various hymnals and music books. Right. This one is a hymnal supplement by someone named Don. Who's Donna?
It's not Dawn. D-A-W-N.
No,
Donna.
Donna.
Oh, Donna Eisenstadt.
Okay, right, so we don't throw things out very easily either.
Well, it's not hers, it was what she used when she was in the choir.
I thought I'd put our budget up here, right? So we're a giving church, because right now we are $5,000 ahead of budget in our giving. Exactly, you should say that. Yay! Right? I mean, how many churches can say that? Right? Good for you guys. Good for us guys. Yeah. Right? We're a Creation Care church. Creation Care has been part of this church for years and years and years. We're a peace church. All of these things, right, connect us to, oh, we're a Cub Scout church. Yeah, and I didn't know the story of that sign. It was just there, right? Because again, we're a church that doesn't throw stuff out, right? Including, of course, the organ that is underneath the Cub Scout sign, which doesn't actually work, which for me is the best kind of organ in the world. It was one of the highlights of my tour of this church when I first came. Yay, they got an organ that's broken. Right? Can't complain, don't have an organ. Pardon me?
What about the records?
Oh yeah, right? We're a church that just, you know. So there is upstairs in the balcony a whole box full of albums.
Oh.
Yeah.
And this would be a great album, right? I mean, this thing would rock. Not that there's any. Can you raise your hand if you own a record player? Oh wow! So anyway, there's a box full of records up there.
Throw things out like record players.
Yeah.
Well, we did throw out the record player. I throw things out.
People are.
I know.
We bought a new.
There's one in every crowd. I'm that one. So this is all, right, this and closets full of stuff all over the place are part of who we were. It's also really important to remember that these things are not who we are. We are a product of our history, but we are not trapped by it. Right? Because there's a lot of you sitting here who have no connection to any of this stuff, including me. Right? I'm just making this stuff up as I go along. For me, this is ethnography, but it's somebody else's community we're talking about. And a lot of you, right, haven't been here that long to have any of these stories, and that's great. Welcome. We are not trapped by these old stories. We can become something new. We are not what we were 6 months ago. We are not what we were 20 years ago. We are not what we were 200 years ago, which yes, we weren't. So I invite you, if you want some time to come and look at this stuff, or just go find a closet somewhere and make up a story about who we were. But mostly, you don't have to throw it out. Or you can, it's not my stuff. But mostly I invite you to become part of who we are becoming. Like this ongoing process of the transforming church. To become part of the worshiping community, to become part of the fellowship, become part of the discipleship, to become part of all the things that we continue to do here at Morgantown Church of the Banner. Amen.
Amen.